Does it feel like nobody knows that you're there? Like somehow, some way, inside your community, it feels like just even though you've been there, you're great at what you do, it feels like nobody really knows that you're there. Or there might be someone who, a newer competitor who just came in around the corner and feels like they're getting all the students and you're actually better. So what's the deal, right? So this is how Jessica felt just 5 short months ago. But if we fast forward to today, she's added 139 new students in her studio, and the number keeps growing, which makes my heart so stinking happy. Now, if you're joining us, say, hey, Erin, what's up? Let me know that you're here. I always want to know who's with me when we are having these conversations and these chats. Let me know, drop it below. And so, in this week's episode, we're going to really just share with you what had to shift for Jessica for her to start consistently enrolling students into her program and how it changed the way she actually shows up in her business. Now, y'all know we're better together, right? So if you know someone who needs to hear this conversation, feel free to just sprinkle the love around, right? And share this with your friends. So, good morning, hello. Oh, hey, Rachel. Good morning. Hey. I'm so excited. I say morning. I think it's afternoon for some of y'all, but anyway, good morning, good afternoon, good day, wherever you're coming from. I want to know. So, yes. So that's what we're going to be diving into today with Miss Jessica. Now, obviously, today we're going to be talking about the shifts that happen. And if you are thinking, you know what, I would really like the fast track to implementing some of the strategies that worked for her, drop the word visibility below and we will be sure to share all the details with you. So, if you're new here, somehow, I'm Erin Bird and I support dance studio owners and educators just like you to really grow their businesses without the burnout, without the overwhelm, without sacrificing your personal life. Because the truth of the matter is, you don't have to do all that. You can have passion, you can have profit, you can have a personal life. It is actually possible. We just have to decide that that is exactly what we want. So that's what we do around here. And I also would love to say that, hmm, if you have a little nugget or an aha moment, I want you to share that as well. So drop hashtag nugget, aha, takeaway, what it is, because even if people come in on the replay, that actually helps them lean into, oh, I should really listen to this because it's something that's good and valuable and it resonated with somebody else. The other part of this, my friends, the other part of this is that when we take that nugget or that aha and we write it down or we type it in, it actually really anchors in that idea for us. So that's why we like to learn out loud around here. So, y'all, without further ado, I want to bring Jessica in because she has had I feel, a really huge transformation, not only in her business, but really looking at things in a different perspective. And I want her to share. I'm not going to go into too much more. I want her to share because the truth of the matter is that she is the one who did the hard work. And I want her to just really be able to dive in and share this. So I'm going to bring her in and let her introduce herself as well. Hey, hello
Hi.
there. Oh my gosh. So this is Miss Jessica Stott, and she is a total rock star. Do you want to tell them where your studio is and like how long you've been in business and all those fun little details?
Yeah. I have been in business for 8 years. I purchased the studio about 8 years ago. And we're in Michigan. We're on the west side, in a little town of Allendale. I'm in Grand Rapids, so I commute out to Allendale. But yeah, we're in a small little college town. So
Awesome. And so, my gosh, I'm trying to think back. It was like, do you think, was it 3 years ago that you came to the 100K workshop?
think
I
so.
feel
Maybe
like so.
Yeah, it was like, I think it was just before COVID.
I
I think, yeah.
Here's the thing, y'all. I think for everybody, time now is really hard to measure. Like I think about, I'm like, was that 3 years ago, 4 years ago? Because those 2 years, the like 2020 to 2022 right now is like a blur, and it doesn't feel like 2 years in a way, but it feels like 2 years in a way. So yeah, both of those, so it's hard. So okay, probably about 3 years ago, 2 to 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Jessica and I, we met. You had come to the 100K blueprint workshop in Atlanta, I
Mhm.
believe. You and your husband came, and you took those strategies and you went back and you started your mobile program and you enrolled some new students. And then fast forward and COVID hit. Y'all, we know about that, right? And so talk to us about that. Like what was that like for you personally and for your business?
It was it was awful, but also at the same time a blessing in disguise, just because we had to move the studio literally the weekend it had like everything shut down. So it was kind of nice in that way, but it was terrible because we lost so many kids the next year. Like half of our competitive team was just like, I'm done dancing. And it's like, oh gosh, like that's a hit. And then a lot of kids just weren't going to be dancing anymore. So it was a big hit. And so the next year, I mean, it wasn't continued growth. It was just kind of steady. So
Mhm.
it was hard.
Yeah. I think that that's something that is so relatable for so many. Like, I think that I talk to so many studio owners, and that's a story that I hear kind of continuously is like COVID hit, and for whatever reason, they had to move locations, right? There was some who landlords were like, nope, we're gonna sell the building, or no, like, or whatever reason. There were so many different reasons, but I found that there were so many studio owners who actually had to shift and move locations during this crazy time. And so you moved locations, it kind of stayed steady. You lost a heap of students.
Mm-hmm.
And what the move was, that the catalyst for you to say, like, I can't stay stagnant anymore? Or what was the point where you felt like, okay, this is what needs to happen?
So I made it through COVID, and I know a lot of studio owners didn't. And so when I realized, I was like, oh, I actually made it through. I can do this. And then continuing on for the next year or two, I was like, okay, I can do this, but how? And that was my like turning point of like I need to start finding help. Like all the help that I am finding is great, but it's not like a one-on-one type of thing, and I work best with one-on-one.
Yeah. So, and that's the thing. Sometimes, there are a lot of fantastic resources out there, right? I think that, we're lucky to be in an industry that has so many giving people, and that are there, to share and to support. But there's something to be said about having somebody who's walking with you hand in hand in your journey,
Yeah, it's huge.
right? And so when you did the move, you're like, okay, I can do this, right? It's working. And then what? Then you decided to increase your space,
Yeah,
even though you hadn't increased your student count necessarily yet, right?
right.
So what made you decide to take that leap of faith?
Um, I don't even know. It was just it was there, it was available, and I was like, well, I know I want to be running two classes at once. It makes more sense. I can offer more because I know the studio down the street has a bigger space and they're able to offer more. And sometimes parents will go to them because they have a wider variety of a schedule. And so
Mhm.
I was like, I would really like to offer that, at least have one other space. And so when that opportunity became available, I was like, okay, I feel like I need to jump on this.
Right, right. The big thing I don't think she's sharing is we did some math.
Mhm.
We did some math to figure out like what would that require, right? As
Yeah.
far as student counts. And so then you realized, okay, now I have to fill the studio,
Yeah. Yeah,
right?
I need the bodies. I need the numbers to work to be able to make this more doable. At the
Hmm.
time I was like, yeah, I can make it work, but I wanted it to be more doable, more profitable as well.
Okay, more profitable.
Mhm.
I think that that's something to be said is that so many times we look at our studios and our spaces and we the first thing we lean into is, what's the impact that we can make or what's the we could serve more students if we had a bigger space. We don't actually tie that to profit all the time. We look at it as like, okay, we're making a bigger impact. We can do more. We can stay competitive against other studios and all of that. But we are in business to make money. Dare I say, right?
Mhm.
We're in business to make money, and so we need to know the numbers, and we have to look at what's the profit margin that we want to make, what's the student counts that we need, what do we have to do to get there. And so that's when we kind of started working together, was right before summer.
Mhm.
Right, it was late spring, and you said, okay, well, my numbers are not where they need to be for this space for me to survive for summer. Have two spaces and be, oh Lord, and be in summer. We all know sometimes summer can be challenging for so many studio owners. And so that's when we got to work. And throughout the process of you adding these 139 new students, like, first of all, tell me about the experience because what we did is we got to work, we came up with a plan for you specifically based upon your goals, and then you got to work doing the things, actually taking action, doing the things, following the plan. Um, when you started them and you started to see the engagement, the interaction, the trials, how did that feel for you? And what was your response? What was your husband's response? Because I love her husband. Josh is so supportive, totally invested. And yeah, oh my gosh, Rachel just said she loved that he came because he had such great questions, right?
Yeah.
So we absolutely love that. So, what were your guys' thoughts when this started to actually work for you?
So I want to back up a little bit
Okay.
because beforehand, I was like, do I do this? Do I not? Like, I was very much on the fence. Like, I was weighing the pros and cons, and I was like, well, okay, if I do this and it works, then it works, and I'm happy and like profitable, and everything's good. And if it doesn't work, well, then it doesn't work, and I might lose some money, but at least I tried. And so I finally just kind of decided, like, Jessica, you just need to make the jump. You just need to go for it. It's going to be
Mhm.
good. It'll work out. But I always had it in the back of my mind, like, what if it doesn't work? What if I can't get this business to work? And that was the fear. And
Mhm.
then to jump into everything, and like, I started getting started, and students started enrolling, and questions started coming in, and started talking to more people. And I was like, oh, okay, well, this is working. And then we kept chatting, and I was like, oh my goodness, I just enrolled like what the first 2 weeks I enrolled 54 students, and I was like, I just went over my
Wait, can we
goals.
time out. In the first what?
I think it was in the first, well, in within 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I went from 13 students to, I don't know where my notes are, 13 students to something, and that was 52 students in 2 weeks. Yeah.
So
And
good,
I
right?
looked at
Like,
that. I was like, okay, so this is working. This is doable. This is going to be profitable. Okay. I'm like, and that's, I think when it clicked, I was like, okay, I got this.
mhm. Yeah, and so we have to remind ourselves that fear, it's natural. We're, like fear is a natural thing, but fear is a feeling and not a fact.
Hmm.
And so many times we are fearful and we tell ourselves those things like, what if it doesn't work? What if I'm a failure? What if, what if, what if? And the truth is that what if it was the opposite,
Right.
right? What
Yeah.
if you could enroll 52 new students in 2 weeks? Like, that's amazing,
Yeah.
right? So fast forward, so the first 2 weeks, the strategies were working. We
Hmm.
had your plan. Now, I'm here to tell you guys, this was plan involved work. It was hard work, right?
Yeah.
Like there was a lot of time involved, but do you feel like the trade-off of the hard work was worth it?
Oh yeah, it completely paid off. And I mean, I was doing this and also trying to build that second room all at the same time. So I was like, and I'm still like go 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 go, but it's totally worth it. I mean, I'm at a point in my business where I'm like starting to see more of a profit. I'm like, "Oh, okay. This works."
She sent me a message the other day, y'all, because now, we're talking to numbers, and she's like, I just forecasted my costume profit, and what is this new life? Like, what is happening, right? Your mind was blown, right? Because you could absolutely, like, it takes some hard work. And this was not, can I just mention, y'all, that the strategies that we used were not paid advertising.
Mhm.
No ad spend, no, none of that. Everything that we did was organic, getting the leads, finding the people, and the messaging. I think that was, do you feel like that was part of it for you, was you didn't know your messaging well
Yeah,
enough? Like who you, not you knew who you were, but how to articulate that in a way that connected with people.
right. Yeah.
Um, Such a great story. There was a little aha moment, and it said, definitely have to shift my mindset from the if failure to what if success.
Mhm.
And it's such a big deal. Yes, such a big deal, you guys, because, you know, the truth is that we are all capable, right? Sometimes it's just shifting our mindset. Hey, sometimes it is just shifting the mindset, getting the support that you need. We are all fantastic. We could all probably do all the things, but it doesn't mean we should do all the things and or we should do them alone, right? And so it's okay to ask for support and get the support you need because it accelerates your growth, right? I mean, exponentially. Okay, so you did the 52 students in the first 2 weeks. You're like, yay, this is working, right? And
Mhm.
then before, talk to us because I think this is something really cool. Is this was before summer, and you were building out the studio, the second space, and doing, and you sent me a message saying, "Oh my gosh, like I already hit this goal, and so now I can go on vacation and not feel stressed."
Mhm.
Where did you go on vacation?
We went to Costa Rica.
You went to Costa Rica before summer camp.
Yeah.
And how did you feel going into the vacation knowing like your numbers were there, your profit was there? Like, what was that feeling like for you?
It was a really good feeling. Like I wasn't stressed about my summer numbers. I was at a place where I was like, okay, like I'm okay. Like if this is it, this is it. That's okay. But like I still had I hit my goal already, but I was like, oh no, I'm gonna make another goal. And I hit that goal too. So that was great.
Ah, right? So
Yeah.
we are in our camp. Yes, she said, good for you. So
Thank you.
good. So, and that's the thing, like, I really do like to do with a lot of my clients is like, what's the good number? What's the better? What's the best? Like, and so then we have, because what I know to be true is that you will hit that first good number, then you readjust and you're like, here's the better number. And now we're working on the best number,
Mhm.
right? So it's having those sort of things. So being able to go in, feeling not stressed about your numbers, that sort of thing. I mean, it makes an absolute difference in just the way you show up as in your business, right?
Yeah.
Like, do you feel like that's been true for you? Like, has it shifted the way you're showing up as a leader, as your
100%. I mean, before it was kind of like just go with the flow. Like, this business is kind of working, so I'm gonna kind of be present. But now it's like it's a completely different shift because now it's like this business is working. I'm gonna be there, and I'm here to help everybody do better. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, such a great nugget because here's what we know to be true, right? Like you're kind of showing up because you're like, I'm not sure if it will work. And something that you had said to me um, before was that you and Josh, you had hoped that the business could be profitable, but you never expected it that it actually would be. And you made a decision that that's just you weren't going to allow for it to be not profitable anymore, that you had to make the decision, right? And I think so many times it just starts and ends with a decision. Like once you decide and you commit and you're all in, then the magic really happens, right?
Yeah.
And that decision was the catalyst for you to take action, to get the support, and then to follow the plan, right? To be open to following the plan because just because you did something a certain way for the last 5 years, 6 years, 7, 8 years, doesn't mean that that's what has been working for you. Well, or that now that we are outside of a pandemic or, look moving forward, that those same things are going to work in the same way. So we do have to shift some things and show up in a different way. And so I'm so proud of you for being able to recognize that and get the support that you need so you can move forward. So now as you're moving into fall, right? So we got through summer. It was an amazing summer. She kept enrolling people and she'd say, oh my gosh, like we got another 25, we got another, and we were just like, banana. It was, did it feel a little surreal, a little bananas to you that?
Yeah. Josh and I were like, we were hanging out like we do every weekend. We go camping, we do whatever. So we're usually hanging out on the weekend, and I quick check my email. I'm like, oh, got another student signed up for 3 classes. And he's like, what? Yeah. Boom.
Bam, what? Okay, so right? And that was the thing. It's like it's the momentum, it's showing up consistently and being true to what you are and being able to show people why you are so special and why you're great. And I think sometimes we don't want to come off a certain way.
Right.
Like we don't want to be, bragging about or talking, because I think there's something special about every single studio, right? That makes you different and unique. And so sometimes we find it hard to say, but if I say that, are people going to think I'm a certain way or are people going to, feel a certain way? But there's absolutely a way to talk about what makes you the unicorn in your community without coming off as anything off putting,
Right.
right? Um, and getting to the place where you know that sales is just service. If you want to make an impact and you want to serve in your community, we have to do sales. We have to talk to people, right? Um, and then now your business is so different and you're showing up in a different way. So we're going into fall. How are you feeling about fall?
So good. My students, I'm already at the same amount of students that I ended with last season. So that, which never happens. I'm usually at like, 20 students are signed up by now, and then the more will filter in September. But yeah, I already hit my end students from last year, and then I'm way over my spots taken. So my spots filled from last year was 119. I'm already over that by a lot, and I'm still growing it, which is huge.
Which is a huge, huge deal.
Yeah.
I think that's also a big shift, for so many is that um, you get used to the fact that people just wait till the last minute and that's okay and it'll be fine and that sort of thing. I'm not so worried about that because that's just the way they've always done it. But what we allow will continue.
Right.
And unfortunately, so many times it's us enabling that behavior. But now for you, you have shifted how you show up and you are setting and you're shifting the culture in your studio. So people are actually enrolling sooner,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which also helps with the cash flow roller coaster,
Yes.
right? Because I hear it so much. August is our worst month ever. This is what I hear so often. And but it doesn't have to be because you can be enrolling people before the season starts.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to wait till the trigger event. Let's just say a lot of people say, oh, we're doing an open house or a back to dance night or something like that, which I'm not saying don't do, y'all. Please make sure that we're clear about that. But what I do want to say is like, you don't have to wait and say, you can't sign up until then, or you don't have to sign up till then, right? No, the way people commit isn't them saying, yes, we're going to be part of your classes. The way that they commit is by paying you. That's how people commit. So, as lovely as it is for people to say, oh, yeah, we'll be back next season or whatever. Okay, well, when you pay, that's when we know you'll be here,
Yeah.
right? And so, was that kind of a shift for you as well?
Yeah, definitely. Having, because usually I would have people like, oh yeah, sign me up and I'll pay. Okay, well, to secure your spot, you have to pay.
Right. And there's something to be said also about when you start to make the shift and you start enrolling all these people and you're getting, like the momentum's there. That energy, there is an energy transfer. We have to. If we're like, hey, and you tell them we're so excited because we are welcoming 100 new students into the studio, spots are filling up. There's now some urgency because people get FOMO, have FOMO, right? Which is okay. It's a good thing. And there is truth to that. There are only so many spots you have in each class. And even in the past, if you feel like, well, I've never really filled up that class, so like I can't say, oh, you're not going to have any spots. If your intention is you want to fill that class to capacity, you have to energetically shift and show that there needs to be some urgency because you will sell out that class if we're intentional, right? So that shift, I think the momentum and seeing the new students come in and being able to like be so excited about that and articulate that, um, it also does help shift some of that culture and getting people to actually commit. And then we have specific strategies to get people to actually sign up right then instead of waiting till open house. But it's a complete shift. And when you start to see it and you start to see people, it reminds you the value that you bring. When people are like, yes, no, sign me up today, 3 classes, right? It reminds you, yeah, what I'm doing is valuable, right? And people do want it. And so it helps us fight some of those stories that we tell ourselves with fear and all the things that come up. So, um, if you could give like one nugget, piece of advice, whatever, to a studio owner who feels like they're struggling with enrollment, they don't feel seen, they don't feel, like their community knows who they are, um, what would it be? I'll let you think about it. Think about it for one moment while I tell them about something.
Okay.
Okay, I'll let you think about it. So, y'all, I've been getting a lot of people who are saying kind of the same thing. I'm in a saturated market. I'm People don't know who I am. I hear all the time, well, now we have a competitor who's in the same strip mall as me. Like, what are we going to do? I hear all those sort of things. And so, what we've decided to do is this Friday, we're going to host a free training on how to skyrocket your visibility in your community. Basically, the top 10 ways to get known. These are some of the things that we actually used with Jessica to be able to get her in front of more people. And so, if you would like to join us for that free training, drop the word visibility below, and me and my team will get you signed up for that. It's absolutely free. And we are going to go through those ways so you can go from feeling like nobody knows who you are to really be starting to be known as the go-to studio in your community because you are special and your community deserves to know that. So let us know below. Even if you come on the replay, you want to join us for that free training this Friday, drop the word visibility below and we will get you all the details. So, all right, Miss Jessica, if you could share and impart one little nugget, what would it be?
Um, can I say to work with you? Because that was the biggest thing.
Okay, I did not tell her to say that, y'all. I just want you to know. I mean, I appreciate it, right? So
Like
it's getting support. It's getting
if
support, right?
yeah, and if they're on the fence to of take the jump or not, take the jump. It's take the jump. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, yes, we will get you the info on that training. Yes, it's get support, and again, of course, I would love to support you, but I also have colleagues in this community, in our industry, who I think are absolutely the bee's knees too, and they are there to support you too. So I want you guys to know that. But yes, I would love to support you. And I think that if you could come to the visibility training, one that's going to give you a little bit of clarity on maybe some of the things that you're doing and some of the things that could shift or that you can actually add to your repertoire. Um, but yes, if you'd like to have a conversation one on one about how we can support you specifically, feel free to shoot me a message or drop the word strategy. I'm going to put in, we're dropping lots of words today. We're dropping visibility, we're dropping strategy. But the truth of the matter is that we want to be here to support you, our team. And, you know, maybe it's time for you to have the next story, just like Jessica's. Instead of things aren't working, it's, oh my gosh, I added 139 new students in 5 months. Like, that's bananas. Do you feel like that's bananas
Yeah.
ever in your wildest dreams?
I never thought. Like I always hoped, but I never thought it would actually happen, and here we are.
And here you are. Oh my gosh, that makes my heart so happy. Okay, my friends. So I want to first and foremost say thank you, Miss Jessica, for coming and chatting with us because your story is such an inspiration, I think, for so many studio owners out there that you can actually do this, right? Um, and even though COVID kind of kicked you down, right?
Yeah.
It is time, and you are showing that you are rebuilding. Yes, so Rachel said, "Yay, you! Now me next." Right? So, absolutely, right? It is one of those things that it can absolutely be done, right? Just we got to have some strategy behind it. So, thank you for coming on and sharing with everyone. I cannot wait to continue to see the amazing things that you do inside your studio. You are working it, you are a total rock star, you're following the plan. I mean, honestly, she does what I say. I tell her to do something and she does it. She doesn't question. No, I'm joking. But she but really it's just, okay, I'm gonna try it. I'll do the thing. You just go for it. And
Yeah.
so and I think that really makes a difference, right? It's like just going for it. So I'm so proud of you and I can't wait to see what happens. Y'all, if you come back on the replay, drop your nuggets. If you feel like somebody needed to hear this today and get a little dose of inspiration, sprinkle the love around. And last but not least, I will be back next Wednesday, same time, same place, I will be having on the amazing Jennifer Randall. And y'all, we are going to be diving into the Google ads, keywords, things of that nature, that if you wanted to start learning more about the strategies, we're going to dive into those. Oh my gosh, Paula, don't worry. What did you miss? You missed some inspiration and some goodies, but don't worry, because the replay will be up momentarily and you can come back in and watch the replay. But here's the quick recap. What did you miss? Let's go for it. So I had Miss Jessica. Hello. She's on today and she is in Michigan, and she added 139 students in just 5 months. COVID hit her hard. And all throughout that, she decided to go bigger, increase her studio space, shift things from it maybe being a hobby sort of business, not really profitable, to really turning it into something that was going to support her. She was going to be able to feel like she was, you know, part of the financial success in her home, and really creating a space in a studio that was profitable and that was enrolling students and that her community knew who she was. So that's the fast recap for you, but you can go back and watch all the juicy goodness from today's episode. We're going to leave you there. I hope you guys have a fantastic week, and I will see you next week with Jennifer Randall as we dive into all things Google and how we can leverage them for our studios. So we're going to leave you there. I hope that you guys have a fantastic week. And until next time, stand for joy, stand for your dreams, take action, and go for it, my friends, because you have got this. I'm going to leave you there. Have a good one. Bye, guys.